Hi everyone. This is going to be a quick video on the details behind the build that I did of this DIY Goat Seesaw that I made recently. I'm starting with the base. The base itself was 36 inches long by 16 and 7/8 inches wide. Now that I look at it, I think the length could be a little bit shorter. But what's most important was this post here. This is what's going to actually allow the board itself to teeter and pivot. This board, the post itself from the ground to the very top here was 18.5 inches in length. You'll see a hole here that's actually going to take a rod, and that's what's going to allow the board to pivot. But from the ground to this hole was 13 inches from the ground to the hole. What made me to go with these measurements was the width of the board itself. The board itself was 10.5 inches wide, so I was aiming for about roughly around 10 and 5/8 inches between these two center posts, so that it'll actually give a little bit of play and won't allow rubbing between the posts there. I also did add these braces here. These are just braces with 45-degree cuts mounted to the base as well as mounted to the post to prevent any movement from side to side or front to back of the center post. All these materials is 2x4 pressure treated wood. On the board itself, as I mentioned, the width was 10.5 inches wide and was ultimately what drove the measurements of the base here. It is 8 feet long, and the material was 3 inches in thickness. This was a cedar board that I already had. If I had to do it again, I'd most likely use a combination of 2x4s or 2x6s. I did incorporate these step blocks, which are just 1.5 inches wide, which were just fence picket material that I had, and I just stripped it down with a table saw. With these measurements from the ground to this very top here, the highest point was 30 inches. Now the key of how I get it to teeter totter, if I flip the board around, I used these eye screws. These eye screws were what I already had from another project. So these were 5/16 by 4 inches eye screws. I definitely would use, if I did it from scratch, I definitely use a different one to allow these eyelets to be closer to the board. But again, since I'm using what I had, is the reason why there's a 2x4 on the opposite side in the center to allow the additional length of the eye screw to hide it, but as well give it some support. For reference, here is the part number that I got from Lowe's to give you an idea of the different sizes that they have. Now, also where the pivot comes in is this 1/2 inch coarse steel threaded rod that's going to slide in between these eyelets, the eye screws. This again was from part of another project, and you will definitely want to cut it to your length using an angle grinder or hacksaw. You'll need 2 hex nuts and 2 washers to mount it to that center post. Again, the Lowe's item number of this threaded rod, so you can see, what different options you'll have. And then once it's all put together, now you could see underneath of the seesaw how it's all mounted with the threaded rod through the eye screws here, and then you can see the nuts and a washer that are here. Again, here's that 2x4 that is hiding some of the depth of the eye screws, since my material of this board is only 3/4 of an inch. Again, please use this as a guideline. This project did not cost me anything. I built it based on the material, the wood, the hardware that I already had. So definitely things will change based on your design. Good luck and have fun.